Hello, and welcome to the Chance Cube. Today we'll be discussing actions in Star Wars Destiny. This tutorial video will be based on the rule sheet that should be found within the starter set for Star Wars Destiny. As discussed in the gameplay tutorial video, actions are a key part of gameplay. During each turn, you and your opponent alternate taking actions. But what is an action? There are several types of actions, and I will be going through each one of them in detail. Play a card from your hand. There are three types of cards you can play: events, upgrades, and supports. The card type is listed above the card's ability. To play a card, spend the resources equal to its cost. Playing an event. Follow the card's instructions and then discard it to your discard pile. The discard pile is face up near your deck where you place your discarded cards. This one is pretty simple in that you simply want to do what the card says. For example, card number 127, Don't Get Cocky, costs no resources to play, and when you play it, each player draws 2 cards. Simple as that. Playing an upgrade. Attach the card to one of your characters by placing it below that character. Upgrades have repeatable effects and stay in play. Most upgrades come with an extra die, and, like characters, have the 6 sides of their die referenced on the left side of the card. When you play an upgrade that has a die, take the matching die from your set-aside dice and place it on the character. A character cannot have more than 3 upgrades. When you play an upgrade, you can choose to replace an upgrade that is already attached to that character. To do so, you only spend resources equal to the difference in cost between the 2 upgrades. Discard the upgrade you are replacing. As you can see, upgrades have a few more caveats to them. They are attached to a character. Sometimes you have to spot a certain type of character, which means the upgrade can only be attached to that particular character type. Upgrades sometimes come with a die, and that die is put in play with the card. More on that later. Just remember that characters can't have more than 3 upgrades on them, and that, when playing an upgrade, you can always choose to replace an existing upgrade that is already attached to that character, meaning you only have to pay the difference in cost between the 2 to play it. Playing a support. Place the card on the table in front of you, next to your characters, but not attached to them. Supports have repeatable effects and stay in play. Some supports also have a die that comes with them. Take the matching die and place it on that card. Here is a support, card number 49, Millennium Falcon. Now these cards are not attached to a particular character and remain in play throughout the remainder of the game. You simply have to pay the resource cost, in this case 5, to play the card. Activate a character or support. Activating a character support is how you roll its dice. To activate a character or support, it must be ready. Exhaust that card and roll all of its dice. Put these dice in front of your characters. These dice are now in your dice pool and can be used on a future turn. Characters always roll their character dice and their upgrade dice when activated. Supports only roll their own dice into the dice pool when activated. 2 important terms here that will be referenced throughout the game. Characters and supports that are ready are upright, and, if applicable, have their die or dice placed on them. Characters or supports whose dice have been rolled into the dice pool are exhausted and must be placed on their side. There are some supports that do not have a die. Those cards typically have an effect that can only be used when the card is exhausted. Resolve your dice. This action is how you use a dice in your dice pool. You may resolve any number of dice in your pool that have the same symbol, one at a time. After you resolve a die, it returns to the card that it came from. For example, you rolled dice showing melee damage and range damage. For your next action, you can resolve any number of the dice showing melee damage, or any number of the dice showing ranged damage, but not both. Each different symbol represents its own action. Now let's take a look at each of these dice symbols. Melee damage means deal that much damage to any character. Range damage means deal that much damage to any character. Shield, give any character that many shields. A character cannot have more than 3 shields. Resource, gain that many resources. Disrupt, your opponent loses that many resources. Discard, discard that many random cards from your opponent's hand. Focus, Turn that many other dice in your pool to the sides of your choice. Special. Trigger the special ability marked by this symbol on that die's card. Specials never have a number value. Blank. No effect. Blanks never have a number value. Modifiers and resource costs. Some dice have one or more blue sides with a plus before the value. Sides with a plus can only be resolved at the same time as another die in your pool that shows the same symbol without a plus. While resolving, the plus value is added to the other die to create a new value. For example, you roll a +2 range damage symbol. You also roll a 1 range damage, so you can resolve the +2 range damage along with the run range damage for 3 range damage dealt to any one character. If you had not rolled the 1 range damage, you could not have resolved the +2 range damage die. Some die sides have a small resource icon in a yellow box. To resolve this symbol on that side, you must first pay that many resources. An example of that is here with card number 2, First Order Stormtrooper. If you roll this side, you must pay 1 resource to resolve the die to cause 2 range damage. Also note that range damage and melee damage ultimately have the same effect, but there are cards that reference one type of damage or the other. Damage from a die must be dealt to a single character. When a character is dealt damage, track that damage using damage tokens. If the character has any shields, block 1 damage for each shield on the character. After a shield blocks damage, remove the shield token from the character. When a character has damage on it equal to its health, it is defeated. Remove all of its dice from the game, both its character dice and its upgrades. Discard all upgrades attached to it, and remove the character card from the game. The character can no longer be activated, be the target of effects, or spotted to play cards. So strategically, when building your deck, you have to be aware that, say for example, if you included a blue and a red character in your lineup, and the red character got placed out of play or defeated, then you can no longer use any cards that require you to spot a red character. Discard a card to re-roll your dice. Discard a card of your choice from your hand to re-roll 1 or more dice in your pool. You must choose all the dice you want to re-roll before re-rolling. Simple enough. Use a card action. Some supports, upgrade, and character cards have special actions listed on them. These actions are preceded by the word action in bold. To resolve this action, follow the card's instructions. For example, card number 89, Power of the Dark Side, uses up your action to perform the card's text. Claim the battlefield. Only one player can claim the battlefield each round. When you claim the battlefield, you may immediately use its claim ability. If you do not control it, take control of it by moving it next to your deck. For the rest of this round, you automatically pass all of your future actions. Your opponent continues taking actions until they pass, but they cannot claim the battlefield this round. This is pretty straightforward. Let's say the battlefield for the game is card number 169, Imperial Armory. If you want to use your action to claim the battlefield, you would move it to your side, performing the action on the card, which in this case is to play an upgrade from your hand at 1 less resource than printed on the card. For the rest of this particular turn, you cannot perform any actions, and your opponent can do whatever he or she wishes until he or she passes. Passing. If you do not want to take an action, you may pass. You do nothing, but retain the option to take an action after your opponent. After both players pass consecutively, proceed to the upkeep phase. Passing can also be used strategically to force your opponent to reveal what they are going to do, allowing you a chance to respond. But once both players pass in a row, the turn ends and the upkeep phase begins. The upkeep phase was explained in our previous video, Gameplay, so check it out if you haven't already. That completes this look at actions in Star Wars Destiny. Please subscribe to keep up with the latest tutorials, tips, and Star Wars Destiny news. Feel free to comment below, reach out to me on Twitter @TheChanceCube, and check out our website, www.thechancecube.com, and listen to our podcast there or your favorite podcasting app.